Om Shri Sai Ram, and welcome to Friday Night Inspirations, for the first time brought to you live from the holy precincts of Herndon Brindavan here in Sai Ramesh Hall. We have a very special program today celebrating the joyous festival of colors known as Holi. On the throne, Bhagawan is seated majestically, stained in the beautiful colors of Dhuleti. May these colors stain our lives in the form of Bhagawan's Upadesha, his teachings. Jai Sai Ram. We begin with the humble musical offering, followed by a panel discussion, and we'll end the evening with some more bhajans. Jai Sai Ram.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। होली खेले होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले रघुवीरा बजने 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 होली खेले रघुवीरा। बिन बिन आए जो मैं लुकाए, बिन बिन आए जो मैं लुकाए। भाई महाजन में खीरा बजने होली खेले रघुवीरा। भाई महाजन में खीरा बजने होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले रघुवीरा बजने होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले रघुवीरा बजने होली खेले रघुवीरा। बिन बिन आए जो मैं लुकाए, सब भक्तों के सगे साईं हमारे होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले लगे साईं हमारे होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले लगे साईं हमारे होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले लगे साईं हमारे होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले रघुवीरा। होली खेले रघुवीरा। श्री शांताकारं गुरुविषयं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्गानगम्यं वन्दे
This song is composed by Siddharth Sai Sivakumar, Rushi Thanawala, and Siddharth's mom, Srimati Soumya Sivakumar. Next, we offer a fusion version of the famous Tyagaraja Kriti, Marugela. Sai Ramesh करुणानि कीर्तना भक्त सखा प्रभु करुणानि कीर्तना भक्त सखा प्रभु शरण मिलो भगवान त्रिभुवन संचारी ज्योति स्वरूपा त्रिभुवन संचारी ज्योति स्वरूपा त्रिभुवन संचारी नित्य निरंजन त्रिभुवन संचारी ज्योति स्वरूपा नित्य निरंजन जय श्री राम भक्त सखा प्रभु राम हरे राम हरे
Ram Hare Hari Ram Bolo Sai Ram Bolo 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 Ram Hare Ram गिरिधारी जय गिरिधारी गिरिधारी जय गिरिधारी तुलसी भगवन माई तुलसी भगवन माई गिरिधारी जय गिरिधारी मुनिजन से निकलाऊं मुनिजन से निकलाऊं मुनिजन से निकला मूर भर मुरली मनोहर गिरधारी गोपी मनोहर गिरधारी जय गिरधारी वृंद तुलसी दलनारी गिरिधारी जय गिरिधारी मिलन से कराओ आधर मिलन से माधव मुरली मनोहर गोपी मनोहर गिरधारी हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल माधव हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल केशव माधव केशव माधव बोलो केशव माधव हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल माधव हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हर हर बोल हर हर बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोलो नारायण जय जय विठला बोलो बोलो नारायण जय बोलो नारायण साई नारायण रंग विठला साई नारायण रंग विठला बोलो बोलो नारायण बोलो नारायण गोविंद विठला रघुनाई विठला गोविंद विठला रघुनाई विठला गोविंद विठला रघुनाई विठला रघुनाई विठला गोपाल विठला पांडुरंग विठला गोपाल विठला गोपाल विठला पांडुरंग विठला विठला भजो श्री रंग विठला साई बोलो नारायण साई नारायण बोलो नारायण बोलो नारायण गोविंद विठला रघुनाई विठला गोविंद विठला रघुनाई विठला गोपाल विठला पांडुरंग विठला गोपाल विठला पांडुरंग
and all
From age to age, God incarnates in human form for the protection of the virtuous, for the destruction of evil, and for the establishment of righteousness. Satya Sai Baba, God in human form, has incarnated to correct mankind, raise human consciousness, and put people back on the right path of truth, righteousness, peace, and love to divinity. Baba says, I have come not to disturb or destroy any faith, but to confirm each in his own faith, so that the Hindu becomes a better Hindu, the Muslim a better Muslim, the Christian a better Christian, who art in heaven, the Sikh a better Sikh, and the Buddhist a better Buddhist.
Om Shri Sai Ram. We offer ourselves at the Divine Lotus feet of our beloved Lord Bhagawan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Sai Ram, and welcome to our weekly program, Friday Night Inspirations. It's a pleasure to be here, and for the first time we're doing a broadcast from the holy precincts of Herndon Brindavan, aka Siddharth's house.
And welcome to Sai Ramesh Hall. We've redecorated for the occasion, as today is, it was just the festival of Holi, the joyful festival of Holi, just a few days ago. And today also happens to be Good Friday. So as you can see, Swami's robe has been stained with the lovely powder of Holi, and it's pink color, and all the lights around us signify that this is a very happy and joyful occasion.
Definitely, definitely. This festival of Holi has a very profound background to it. Should I go into some?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Of course.
Sure. So the name festival, the namesake of the festival is actually the demon Hiranyakashipu's sister, whose name is Holika. So this festival is actually named after her. Now people may ask, why are we naming a festival after a demoness? But here's the story. So Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu's son, was constantly worshipping Lord Vishnu, constantly chanting Om Hari Om Hari Om. And Hiranyakashipu...
Of Narasimha fame, of the story.
Right. But Narasimha doesn't come until the very end of the story.
Right.
So this is before Narasimha comes into the chapter.
Okay.
But basically, Hiranyakashipu wants to kill his son because out of his ego, Hiranyakashipu thinks that he is the doer, he is God, and he is the Almighty of this entire universe. So basically, he very much dislikes the fact that his son Prahlad is constantly chanting the name of Hari. Increase also one. That he is constantly chanting the name of Hari, and Hiranyakashipu really dislikes this. So he tries. He basically goes on a mission to kill his own son, and in the process he tortures Prahlad to so many tribulations. I think the first one, he tries to throw Prahlada off a cliff into the ocean, but Lord Vishnu, the Sesha Shailavasa, we have a bhajan, Sesha Shailavasa Narayana. So the Sesha Shaila Vishnu, he gets up and he catches Prahlada as he's falling into the ocean and brings him back to the surface. The second tribulation, Prahlada is thrown into a pit of snakes. And the objective of this is the snakes will bite Prahlada and he'll pass away. But the snakes are embodiments of Shiva, as we have in the bhajan, Nagabhushana Nagabharana. So these snakes, who are embodiments of Vishnu, actually start frolicking and playing with the little boy Prahlad. The third tribulation, Hiranyakashipu throws Prahlad into a pot of hot boiling oil. Now we've all been burned by water, making Maggi noodles. I love Maggi noodles.
Yeah, me too.
And I've been burnt by the water many a time. And but imagine being getting burned by hot boiling oil.
That's even worse. That's definitely worse.
The moment Prahlada touches the oil turns into yellow marigold flowers.
Wow. That's definitely a miracle. Definitely a very nice miracle.
Yeah.
Right.
So the fourth way he tries to kill Prahlada is by fire. And this is where the holy celebrations come into play.
The holy celebrations.
The holy celebrations.
Yes.
Very, very well put.
Thank you.
So Hiranyakashipu's sister Holika has been granted with a boon. And this boon is that if she wears this particular shawl given to her by Lord Shiva, that she will not be burnt by fire. So what he basically does is tricks Prahlad into sitting in Holika's lap, and Holika is wrapped in that shawl, and he puts him in a bonfire and sets it on fire. What happens is that
so that Prahlada will get burned because he doesn't have the shawl.
Right,
but
exactly.
Holika does have the shawl.
Right.
So she won't get burned.
So she won't get burnt. She'll be safe. That's the objective of the fourth tribulation.
Right. Got it.
And eventually, Hiranyakashipu gets his guards to set them on fire. And what happens is that the Lord of the Wind, which is Hanuman, as we sing, Vayukumara Vanarira.
Very nice bhajan.
By Hanuman's will, the shawl flies off of Holika's shoulder and immediately falls on Prahlada.
Wow.
And
so that he gets saved.
So he is saved, and Holika is burnt to death.
That's amazing.
So on the previous night of Holi in places like Gujarat and Maharashtra even, they light huge bonfires signifying the burning of the Holika within all of us, which is our bad qualities.
Oh, and that's why we celebrate the festival of Holi. It's named
Right.
after Holika.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Mhm.
So the purpose behind these bonfires is that our bad qualities such as anger, greed, jealousy are all being destroyed in this fire of tribulation.
That's a very nice significance.
And
behind
then-
the festival.
The next day, so this is on the eve of Holi. The next day, people take colored powder, colored water, and in joy and celebration, throw it everywhere and apply it to each other's face. And this signifying that now that all the bad qualities have been burnt away, we are filling our lives with joy, love, happiness, satya, dharma, shanti, prema, himsa, and ananda, pure bliss, prevails in the entire universe.
And that's the ash. That's like the colored ash. That we
Exactly.
apply to everyone.
That is very good, and that's very well put. The colored ash of these bad qualities, and Swami has told all of us that we are essentially all vibhuti. We come from that state of vibhuti, and we are going eventually to that same state of vibhuti, that holy ash. There have been many rumors that when Swami waves his hand and creates vibhuti, he is gathering the ash of the spiritual souls that have lived in the past eons. I mean, who knows this is true or not? But this is what my relatives have told me.
That's a very nice analogy for the cycle of birth and death, isn't it? Because we are born essentially from nothing, but we travel through life, and we have a lot of experiences, good, bad, in the middle. We make judgments, we have perceptions, but at the end, what happens is that our body just it disappears, it disintegrates into what we came out of, which was just ash.
Exactly.
And the process of the journey that you travel through is the significance of that journey is to try and burn away all of our inner demons and get rid of them. And then at the end, we can just celebrate in that holy ash. That's your meaning.
Exactly.
So that's wonderful. I just have one question, though.
Sure.
This is a very interesting festival, but I know a lot of my friends who just celebrate it because they can get a bunch of colored powder and throw it everywhere, and then they have fun because they can paint themselves or whatever. But it seems that there's a much deeper underlying significance to the holiday.
Exactly.
Kind of like Easter, we play with Easter eggs and we do an Easter egg hunt. But what's the significance of Easter? I mean, we tend to lose sight of that. Or Christmas. Christmas is more visible, but even like Holi, I didn't even know what the significance was until today. So, what kind of faith do you need to have in a festival or in a tradition or in a culture without knowing the significance to reap the benefits of that?
Well, funny you mentioned faith. The only reason Prahlada was saved from all these tribulations is because he had very strong, convicted faith in Lord Hari. And faith is basically the basis of this holiday itself. And when we have faith in Swami, as Swami says, if we leave everything to him, he will take care of us. He is our eternal guide, eternal master, our divine mother and father. He himself has said that he possesses the love of 1,000 mothers.
Right. And that's also why we celebrate, for example, Ishvara Monday.
Exactly.
And why we pay so much respect and we offer everything at the lotus feet of Bhagawan Shri Sai Baba, or whoever you choose to worship, whether it be Jesus, Allah, anyone.
Anybody. And festivals in general have such a great significance. Swami has told us the inner significance of festivals in general is that they bring us back to, they're like recharging our spiritual batteries. Every so once in a while we get these festivals, we engross ourselves in joyous activities, and that leaves our spiritual batteries charged for the next for that period of time until the next festival comes around.
Right.
And this is very explicitly stated in Anil Kumar's book. Anil Kumar, if some of you don't know, is Bhagawan's translator for his discourses, and Anil Kumar's book, Divine Alarm Bells. That entire book is about the significance of all the various festivals we celebrate in Prashanti, such as Shivaratri, Swami's birthday, etc., etc.
Right. And is it enough to just enjoy in the festival, or is there some sort of underlying profound knowledge that needs to be gained from a festival, or from really anything, like your birthday? I mean, a birthday is kind of an arbitrary day and during the year. I mean, sure, it means that you travel a certain number of times around the sun, but you get gifts and you eat cake and someone sings you a song. Aside from that, what do you really need to know other than, or is it just the happiness that you derive from it that brings you to that state of ananda, or do you need to really understand anything behind it? And if you do, what is that? I'm just wondering, because there are a lot of festivals out there, and I'm not sure if I can really put my finger on the significance behind every single one of them. I can put my finger on the happiness, but not the significance of every one of them.
Right.
Well, what do you think?
Well, even according to the Declaration of Independence, the goal of human life is the pursuit of happiness.
So that is really the significance.
That is really the significance, but happiness is, in present day and time, has been so the concept of happiness has been cheapened, so discombobulated. I mean, what people think is, quote, happiness is going to bars, drinking, intoxicating themselves, and they think that euphoria that they achieve is happiness. But is that really happiness? I mean, in Bhagawan's own words, happiness is a feeling that lasts forever. Let's say, for example, you go to the bar and have a drink. That state of that subtle, that euphoria,
the different state of mind,
right,
consciousness.
Is that going to last forever?
No, it won't.
The booze will wear off in a few hours.
Right. It doesn't have to be a physical object. It can be really anything, any act that you partake in.
Exactly.
That lasts only for a short time. Or
you go watch a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, a movie.
Like Hindi movies are 3 hours. I know. Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum was 3.5. It was total mind-boggling.
Right. Especially if you watch a double feature, then you're sitting for 7 hours at a time. But yeah.
Especially for us Indians. I mean, these movies. I mean, even if you watch an Akhand movie session, if you have 24 hours of movies going on, that happiness lasts only for those 24 hours.
Right, and maybe for some time afterwards.
But not even.
Right.
Not even.
Right. But that's all it is. There's nothing more than that.
But when we do spiritual activities such as having darshan, sparshan, sambhashan of Bhagawan, singing His glory, kirtan, partaking in these programs such as today,
even seva,
any spiritual activity connected to God, to Swami, to whomever you worship, to that higher source of energy, because what I believe is God is the storehouse of all the energy that exists in this universe.
Is there an unlimited source of energy? Because I know that, last time on the DHARMIC discussions we talked about energy conservation, and I've been working on the shower thing, making sure I take not so long showers by saying Gayatri. That's the trick that you taught me. But energy conservation in the sense of like mechanical energy, technological energy, that kind of thing. Yes, it's important. The kind of energy that you're talking about, spiritual energy, it seems that it's never ending. It's always flowing. As long as you're concentrating and focusing. Okay, go ahead.
Spiritual energy is constantly flowing, everlasting, only if you know that it is there. If you divert let's say we do some bhajans. We will be in that state of euphoria, our minds will be connected to Swami. And if we maintain silence, by meaning silence, I don't mean that shut up and don't talk.
Yeah.
By silence, I mean silence of mind.
Silence. You mean silence of thought, word, and deed?
Yes.
Okay.
You are contemplating on Swami after bhajans. See that energy will last forever, and you are aware that you are in that state of highly energized, like atomic bombs are blowing up. If I don't know if that's the right word.
I don't think so, but that's okay. I understand.
You get the point.
It's so you can't put your finger on it because it's that powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That energy is so powerful. But let's say after bhajan, you straight away start watching iCarly, which is my favorite show. Cartoon. Watch some iCarly or some Thanawala TV.
Something. Who knows? You can watch
something.
Yeah. Then
then your mind will get diverted and that energy will also go away and you will be engrossed in the TV. As soon as you're shut off the TV, you're dead and energy is gone.
So that's a different kind of energy. The kind of energy that you derive from bhajans, from spiritual activities,
Yes.
is everlasting as long as you dwell on it and as long
Yeah.
as you're immersed in it.
As long as you're immersed in it, it is a perpetual source of energy. But if you divert your mind upon other things, then the energy goes away.
Maybe we should send a letter to NIH or one of these National Science Foundation and tell them we have a perpetual energy machine, which is right here, everywhere, Swami. And so we
You
mentioned
basically just have to tap into the source. You know, crude oil is sitting everywhere. I mean, I did a project in my science fair where we can clean oil spills.
Oh, congratulations on that. I heard you did very well.
Thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
You know, crude oil is everywhere. As long as we don't tap into that source of energy, we're never gonna come upon it.
Right.
You know, we have to tap into that spiritual energy, and the way that we get into that is by doing bhajans, doing service, reading Swami's teachings.
You mentioned service, and I find that I find that a lot of people will partake in. I mean, they're not really selfish spiritual activities, but like bhajans is. I mean, you get together with like-minded people and you sing your heart out, and you gain a lot of energy from it. You gain a lot of energy, and like for example, SSE or Balukas is a way for children our age, younger, maybe who knows, some older, maybe the teachers too, to gain a lot of information and some spiritual knowledge and progress onwards in this journey of life. But I feel like the one area of spiritual activity where all of us can do more is service. I feel like I don't have the time to be doing service all the time. Swami says that hands that serve are holy, the lips that pray. And I feel like I'm always praying relatively compared to service. I do service, organized service maybe once a month, twice a month, if I can. I know we're doing a service project tomorrow, by the way. But
What are we doing tomorrow?
we're going to, our center, Fairfax Eye Center, is doing nursing home seva. And we're going to be putting on a small presentation, maybe a few bhajans and a game.
So the point I'd like to bring out here is that even music, bhajans can even be a form of service.
Oh yeah, of course they can. So I was just about to say that service is something that we think is so difficult to reach, to attain, but you can really do it anywhere. You can do service to your family by helping out. You can do service, at
You can do service by
workplace, at
sending
school.
positive energy to people.
That's true. You can do service. The thing is that if I've always wondered is there such a thing as selfless service if you are always looking for energy back? So my point was that bhajans we get energy, SSE we get energy. Most of the activities we do, say at Sai Center, we get a lot of energy from it.
Right.
Seva also, I assume we're supposed to get energy, but the assumption itself is kind of an expectation, and it diminishes the power of doing seva just for the sake of helping others rather than getting something in return, even if it's not recognition, even
I
if
see
it's
what
an
you mean.
ego boost, even if it's just energy.
The answer to your question, in fact, lies in a bhajan.
Really?
Hari Hari Sumirana, Hari Hari Bhajo Mana. The last line of that same bhajan. Hari Charana Me Tana Mana Arpana. Tana Mana Arpana means what? We are offering our body and our mind at the feet of Bhagawan. When we're doing bhajans, it's just mind, our lips are moving, and our heart is enjoying, and spiritual energy is being collected. But when you're doing service, that tan part, tan means body in Sanskrit. When you're doing that service, you're offering your entire body, your bodily strength to Bhagawan in the form of service.
So that he can act through you
Yes, exactly.
as an instrument.
That's why we have the Navaveda Bhakti.
Oh yes, definitely.
We were reading about it yesterday.
That's right. In the both the Satcharitam and the Satyasayita Bhavanam, they talk extensively on the Navaveda Bhakti, the 9 ways to offer your devotion to God.
Yeah.
It's-
I know you're very well versed in the Navaveda Bhakti. Let's try to list all of them.
Okay, let's see. This is a
Shravanam.
pop question. Okay, pop quiz. Shravanam. Okay, Shravanam is
Listening.
right?
Yeah.
Kirtanam. Kirtanam is the second.
Bhajan.
Bhajan.
Which just happens to be our favorite way of
No,
doing
that
bhakti.
may be one of the favorite ways.
Maybe yes.
Yeah,
maybe.
one of the favorite ways.
There's number 8 is I think.
Number 8 is a good one.
Number 8 is also a good one.
Right.
Shravanam,
Shravanam,
Kirtanam,
Kirtanam, and Smaranam.
Smarana.
That's the third
Thinking, constant.
Right. Smaranam.
I mean, how do you do smaranam? Nama smaranam.
Well, okay, so I learned this in SSC a few years ago. It's called plugins. So in your day, in your whatever you do every day, you plug in some of these little thoughts and you just meditate on them.
Oh, better.
Yeah, the thoughts are like life affirmations. They're like little things like that. Like I am God. I am one with God. I always unify my thought, word, and deed to speak always in truth.
Very well.
Very small statements that you can think to yourself, so that you never forget, you never lose sight of that track, of that journey that you're going through. And I think that's a pretty good way to incorporate smaranam into our daily lives. There are perhaps other better ways, and of course there are many more ways in Navavida Bhakti. So why don't we continue with that? So let's see. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam,
Padasevanam.
Padasevanam is that the next one?
I think so. I think, yeah, Archanam comes after that.
Padasevanam. I think you might be right. Padasevanam is, well, Pada means foot, and Seva means to do service. So let's just just do service at the feet. Well, it means to do service at the feet of the Lord.
Yeah. Well, there's people confuse Padasevanam. They think, if you do a mass Paduka Puja, then Paduka Puja Mahotsam, there have been numerous of them in Bhakti in the early 2000s. But is that really what Padaseva is? I mean, what I think what Padaseva is doing service to others. Manava Seva and Madhava Seva, service to man and service to God.
Yes,
and
yes.
offering that to the feet of the Lord. I think that is what is true Padaseva.
I think you're absolutely right. There's a clear distinction between the rituality of performing a puja, like a Paduka Puja, for example, to illustrate Padasevanam, and the spirituality of the significance of offering that at the feet of the
I'm
Lord.
not trying to undermine the importance of Paduka Puja. I mean,
Oh,
that
of course.
too is very important.
If you have the bhakti behind it, if you have the bhavam behind that offering.
Now, if you don't have bhavam behind either of these, if you keep doing service, just taking name and fame, that too is rubbish. If you do Padasevanam, Archanam, to the feet of the Lord, you just keep throwing akshatas and chanting like Om Nam Bhagawan.
Yes, I know.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
You can
anything.
even put a tape recorder. You can put a robot that will keep throwing akshatam at Swami's feet.
I can make it a sadhana, just like all of that, to go sit in front of the TV and drink a Diet Coke every Sunday. And that can be my Padasevanam. But it will not mean the same if I am not doing it with the same bhakti, with the same bhavam. If I do it with that bhavam that I would do with the Paduka Puja, will it offer me the same benefits? Will it give me the same energy? If I do anything with that same bhavam?
Well, it depends how you. That's a very. There's no black and white response to that question. It depends how people enjoy themselves. For us, example, we get more. People say, what do you have most fun with? Some people say TV. Some people will say going to bars. Some people will say I have fun doing physics problems.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Not
that is fun. I love physics.
Okay.
But for us, doing bhajans is the most devotional singing, bhajans music,
Right.
is we derive most fun, most enjoyment from that. In the same way, whatever connects you most to Bhagawan, whether it be actual Paduka Puja or going and doing service to others, whatever you derive most joy out of is better for you. And I'm not saying everyone should do both,
Mhm.
but what you enjoy more is up to you.
And you have to offer that at the feet of the Lord.
Exactly.
And if you do that, you reap all the benefits of that action, because now it's not you who's performing the actions, it's Swami, it's God who's acting through you. And therefore, there's no need for you to worry about the outcome or anything regarding consequences, because everything is up to Swami. There are no problems, right?
Yeah. See, people complain that, I have no time to think of Swami. I have no time to do seva. I have no time to do puja. Well, if you're physically able to do service, if you're able to lift and do things, you should go do seva. For example, a group of people from New Jersey and New York are participating in rebuilding homes damaged by Sandy.
Actually, I think we're going down there next month.
Oh, very nice. I'll see you there then.
Okay, definitely.
So that is, a 75-year-old person who was lying on Bellow Day, he can go to say Breezy Point and build houses.
Right.
But he can sit there and do Paduka Puja. So that for him, that is the best way to do service to the Lord. But for us,
Able-bodied,
Able-bodied.
able-minded, everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
For us, that would be a better way to offer ourselves.
very true. Okay,
So what's the next?
So we've got Padasevanam, we had Archana.
Archanam. I think we covered Archanam.
I agree. So what's after Archana?
Archanam, Dasyam.
Dasyam.
Seva, I think we also covered. You know, Dasyam, people say Dasyam, oh, Dasyam means that only God is here physically, I will give, help him out, and that is Dasyam. Like Satyajit. So, you know Satyajit?
Yes.
He had the ultimate fortune of being with Swami for, I don't know, a couple of decades and was Swami's personal attendant.
Mm-hmm.
People think that is Dasyam. Sure, that is a form of Dasyam. I'm not trying to undermine Satyajit. Satyajit is a great person. I would love to meet him someday.
Definitely. Maybe have him on the program.
Oh yes, that's a good idea right there. But Dasyam is also doing service to others. Doing service to others.
Service to man and service
Service
to God.
to God.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. We've been talking about it for the last 10 minutes.
Right. After Dasyam is...
I think that's our favorite one.
I
Sakyam.
think we missed one.
Did we?
Yeah, so let's see. We didn't plan this, so we'll just go through. So we started with Shravanam, Kirtanam,
Kirtanam.
Smaranam,
Swaranam.
Padasevanam.
Padasevanam 4.
Okay, 4. Archanam.
Archanam.
I can't count. Archanam,
Dasyam.
Dasyam. There's one more before
Padasevanam.
Sakyam.
No, we did Padasevanam.
There's one more before Sakyam.
Uh,
Okay, someone's going to yell at us afterward.
Yeah,
we're done
but-
with this program.
yeah.
But okay, I guess we missed one.
Whatever. Sakyam.
That's okay. We'll go to Sakyam. Sakyam is probably one of our favorites.
One of our favorites. Being cool with the Lord.
Being cool with Lord. What's
Yeah.
up? What's up, Swami? What's up, Swami? Well, of course we had some fun with Swami earlier, as you can see. Unfortunately, we changed out of our clothes, but we didn't let him change out of his. So, being close with Swami is wonderful if you're physically close to him. But like people like us who have maybe only seen Swami 5, 6, maybe at the most a dozen times in our lives, we don't usually get an opportunity. And now that Swami has left his physical form, it's much more difficult to achieve that sort of companionship and friendship in person. But I always feel like Swami is a friend to me in many ways that I don't really understand. But I treat him as a friend. Of course, he is my guru. Of course, he is the ultimate mother. He is love of 1,000 mothers. But I feel like he's my friend in that he's the only one who knows everything that I do and doesn't judge me for what I do, just like a friend would.
Your best friend.
Like a best friend. And
Even though you're my best friend, I still judge you for some of the Punapoda stuff you do sometimes.
that's true, and I do the same to you, although I don't tell you, because at least I'm that nice. but Swami...
Even though we're not that bad.
Yeah, we're not that bad. But Swami knows, everything that we do. And he tells us, sometimes he tells us that, that's not the right thing to do. But he's got that friendly love that you can never get from any other person who is trying even their hardest to give that to you. Swami is the best at giving that sort of companionship, that friendship.
Because he's always there.
Yes.
Like if you may be busy with doing homework while I'm at Six Flags and I'm lonely, if I imagine that Swami's next to me riding on the roller coaster, I'm more than happier than ever.
Well, he is there. He's always there. He's always by your side.
He says anta janta intalu, above you, below you,
Yeah, above
left
you,
side,
below
right
you.
side.
But he doesn't walk in front of you, nor does he walk behind you. He doesn't want you to follow, nor does he want to follow you. He wants to walk right next to you, just like a friend.
Exactly.
Just like a friend. Which is, I think, it's the greatest thing you could ask for. There's nothing more than I could ask for a friend.
I mean, I'm not trying to undermine any of the forms of God, such as Vishnu or but imagine somebody came walking through the door with 4 hands, dressed in a dhoti, having a mace, a revolving disc that can potentially slit your throat, a conch, and a flower in the other hand, walking through the door. I bet you would be frightened to that.
Yes, I would definitely not go up to him and give him a cool handshake and say, hey, what's up?
Or even do before even going to give Pada Namaskar, you would think.
Yes, I'm pretty sure of that too, yeah.
But let's say a cool figure comes in, wearing an orange robe and a nice afro, doing like this and all other things that he does.
Yep, all of his what's up, man? What's up, man? All of his little quirks and idiosyncrasies that he has.
I mean, those mudras also have a very inner significance to them, which we'll go into at another time. That's a whole other topic.
Yes, definitely.
But if he comes in, of course you'd still be scared. Oh my God! But after a couple of seconds, that you regain yourself. I bet you will be able to approach him, talk to him, and the form.
And in his younger years, that's really who he was. He was a friend to everyone. I mean,
Right.
he wasn't this older man who had a sort of masterly like godlike
a
appearance.
godly demeanor to himself.
I think in his younger days, like we have some pictures up here on the walls, but in his younger days, he is definitely someone who you would talk to on the weekends and have
Oh, yeah.
fun with, and maybe not just on the weekends, maybe every single day.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to hang out with Swami in his earlier years.
I mean, we're hanging out with Swami right now. I mean,
Yeah, we are.
I
of
mean,
course.
sorry we're all messy, but I mean, that's holy. Just be cool with it.
Sorry, but not really sorry. I mean, you look nice in it, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And as much as we love Swami as a friend, there is one final kind of devotion, and that is the eternal merging with the Lord.
Atma Nivedana.
Completely offering
Complete
yourself,
surrender.
surrendering yourself completely.
Atma Nivedanam. I mean, just taking the words itself. Atma Nivedanam, meaning residing in God, becoming one with God. Not only surrendering, but becoming one with Him, and Him becoming one with you. And reaching that stage is definitely will take yogas and whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not on my my bucket list for this
Oh.
lifetime. Not
For this lifetime.
Well, it could be, but
See,
I
for
don't
those
think I'll
who believe in
achieve it.
reincarnation, there's no such thing as a bucket list.
That's true. There is no such thing as a bucket list. There's also no such thing as YOLO. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that right now.
For Swami, YOLO is a totally arbitrary concept.
Right. But no matter what you believe in, the eternal energy that you would, I could not even, no one can even fathom the kind of energy that you get from being
God.
one with Swami, being God itself. We know that we are God, and we can say that towards.
I mean, a quick quote. I'm sorry, I'm huge on quotes.
Mhm.
Swami says, "You are God, I am also God. The only difference is, you have not realized it, I have realized it."
I think that's very very well put.
And I think that realization that we are God is Atma Nivedana.
You're
And I
right
think
on
that all these other bhakti that we have, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Padasevanam, Kirtanam, Archanam,
too.
these are all ways to reaching that stage of Atma Nivedana.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, as long as we can be, we can be in those other stages as long as we want, and we can continue to sing the glory of the Lord, and maybe through that we will reach Atma Nivedanam. But there's always something more to be learned, something more to be experienced.
There's never an end.
Of course, there is never an end. And
Like we're saying, these are all ways to reach God. Just like the religions are a way to reach God.
Mhm.
And, we had a quick playing of the multi-faith praise before we started discussing. And, today is the solemn holiday. It's not, it is joyous, but it is I would say, solemn holiday of Good Friday.
Yes, definitely.
When Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross, essentially to burn the karma of everybody else in the entire world. And
Striking similarity to Holi, actually.
yes.
Yeah, definitely. Very interesting. But continue.
And unfortunately, Jesus did pass away, but he was resurrected 2 days later on the holy, joyous day of Easter. And it's so striking that this year in particular, that these two holidays are coming so close to each other. So what I get out of Good Friday, I went to Catholic school until 4th grade. And they told us the stories that Jesus was crowned with the crown of thorns, and he went through these 14 tribulations, suffered so much. But after I've been involved in SSC and Swami's activities all my life, but what I've learned through that perspective is that the real significance of Good Friday, Good Easter is sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
How do you think, Sidhu, how do you think we can apply that feeling of sacrifice to ourselves?
Well, I think if you're talking from a practical perspective, and if you're thinking from that perspective, which we do all too often, we can think of something like self-control. For example, you know that I gave up chocolate 5 years ago, and I haven't eaten any chocolate since then. I guess that's a sort of sacrifice. It's a type of sacrifice, and it's definitely a type of sadhana. But I think the kind of sacrifice that is the most profound and the most enlightening is the kind of sacrifice where you are completely offering everything. Not even just one or two things. Chocolates are nothing. I can go eat, okay, I can't eat chocolate, fine, I'll go eat hard candy, or I'll eat something else, or I'll drink mango juice, who knows. But that's just one small thing. Even charity. I mean, Shirdi Sai Baba said that in Kali Yuga, charity is the best form of service. But even charity is not
Some people may not be able to do charity.
right, that's true. For those who have money, for those who have it, charity may not be money, it may be food, maybe anything. But Swami says don't give money. That's another point to talk about. Swami says give food.
That's a whole other discussion.
Whole other discussion.
That's a whole other episode of Friday Night Inspirations right there.
Right. But the not giving items, not sacrificing items, not sacrificing things, not even sacrificing your values or ego or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just complete sacrifice of yourself. No, I'm not talking about sacrificing your life. I'm talking about sacrificing everything that you are.
Oh, wow.
Not just
Ego.
who you embody, but everything that you are. Your ego.
I mean, you were saying that your Guruji, Sridhar Guruji says that. What does he say about ego? I don't remember.
I believe he said that ego is a blessing. That
Really?
yeah, humans have the capacity to they are sentient. They know their own existence, and they can speak in terms of the first person. They can think of I. They can think of me. Like I have a dog, Bhairav, and he's always thinking about food, but he's not thinking about I'm hungry. He's looking at food and he's saying that's food. He's not saying I want that food. He's saying that is food. He's not the I want is just an instinct. For us, we have our own desires. We have our own pride. We have our own jealousy and those kinds of things. And those, while they are vices, they are also, we have to remember that those are kind of a blessing. Because if we didn't have the ability to think of us as us and we as we and I as I, then we wouldn't be in this form at all. And Swami always stresses that being a human is the topmost, because we have the top form of being of life, because we have the sixth sense. We have the ability to have morals and rationalize and judge, whether in a good way or a bad way, and discriminate. The 5 Ds. The 5 Ds are only possible if you're human, and they're only possible if you have an ego. That said, ego is not everything. There's much more to the mind. There's much more to thinking, and there's much more to experience than ego. And that's something that, I mean, at people our age, I think we tend to forget it a lot. I know me too, and a lot of my friends can be very rebellious. And we have to remember that we should not think about us as performing all these actions. If we do, then we'll actually want to rebel, because there will be forces against us, forces of authority, forces of nature, and if we think that they're against us, rather than offering us a challenge, rather than offering us a journey, a new experience, then our egos will be hurt. And if we build up our ego so much, if they get hurt even a little bit, we'll crumble to the ground.
That is the main point of Good Friday. Swami says the cross symbolizes cutting your ego.
Very interesting.
And
I have not heard that before.
And just as Jesus passed away very sadly on the cross, and do you mind if I go into a little bit of background of Good Friday from Swami's point of view?
Oh, go ahead, absolutely. This is new to me, so keep going.
John Hislop, you might have heard of him.
Of course, yes.
He's a great devotee of Swami, Westerner. He lived in Mexico, I think, for a couple of years. And on one of his visits to Prashanti, this is actually on Mahashivaratri day, Swami and Hislop and a few other devotees were wandering in the forest, and Swami took up these 2 twigs and pressed them together in the form of a cross.
I've heard this story before, but continue.
And this is in the Tapovan. I was reading it yesterday.
Yes.
Swami took these 2 twigs and crossed them. He placed his fist over them, and a few seconds later, he blew on it, and out came a figure of Jesus dying on the cross, and everyone was wonderstruck. And in the few following moments, Swami spoke the prophetic words that the wood that is in this cross was the actual wood that Jesus died on. And Swami even jokingly said that it took some time for me to go and search for this 2,000-year-old wood.
Delivery service is a little bit slow, I guess.
Whatever, Swami, Universal Sai Postal Service.
Yes, of course. Yes, Universal Side Postal Service.
USPS.
Of
The
course.
United States Postal Service. Universal Sai Postal Service.
Correct.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
So yeah, and on this cross was a very tiny figure of Jesus. And Swami said that this was exactly how Jesus looked like at the moment that his breath left his body.
Wow.
And so people said, wow, okay. And the Swami also said that the figure of Jesus that is here, no artist in this entire world has envisioned Jesus to be like that.
That's amazing.
Basically, a photograph translated into a statue.
That's amazing. And statue, if a photograph says 1,000 words, a statue must say 1,000,000 words.
Oh yes, definitely.
Especially if it's made from the same wood that Jesus was crucified
Oh
on.
yes. And basically what happened is that when they took this cross back to their home in Mexico, it happened to be Good Friday, and Jesus, in the Bible it says that Jesus passed away at 5 p.m. And suddenly, unknowingly, huge storms came about, rains and torrential rains, and everything was going crazy outside. And they realized that wow, that this cross is bringing out the vibrations that exactly occurred at the moment of Jesus' passing. Now, passing may be a sad thing, but in the sense of spiritual people, in the sense of highly realized people like Jesus, or incarnations of God like Swami,
Mm-hmm.
that moment of passing tends to be a very significant and in fact a joyous moment sometimes.
Right.
Um,
I think we tend to forget that, especially we try not to think about it, but we draw a lot of parallels. We can draw a lot of parallels from that, and even Swami's passing, and that's something that it's so close to us, and it was very recent, but even still, there is something to be learned from every hurdle that you jump over or
Every
even
hurdle.
trip over. There's something to be learned at every step of the way. Swami's passing is some would say it's not a step, some would say it was a big fall, it was a big drop, but even still, there's so much to be learned from that about what our message is and how we need to carry on the message, how we need to live. Swami said in his last days, your life is your message. Your life
is my message.
Your life is my message.
in the there's a bhajan.
Mhm.
Prabhu Ramchandra ke Duta Hanumanta Anjanaya. Hanuman was the Duta of Lord Hanuman. Duta means messenger. We are the Dutas of Lord Sai, and it is a humble honor that we have been entrusted with that responsibility. That we are the ones. I'm not trying to flaunt our, float our own horn.
Yeah.
We are the ones who are. We are the chosen few that we are. Those of you who are watching this broadcast, we are the chosen few people out of the 7 billion people in this world. We are the few million that who knew even.